Okay, I'll get back to what I was doing. So the camera turned itself off there and I didn't press the stop button. So maybe there's something in this camera, like it has to stop after 30 minutes or something like that. I don't know, 20 minutes. I don't know how long I've been running for. Messing about, looking at waterfalls. Anyway, or maybe the battery won't be dead. Anyway, if it bleeps again, I'll just start it again, that's fine. So what I was talking about, cigarettes actually, funnily enough. The hardest thing I'd ever done was stop my smoking. And my dad, everyone smoked when I was young, everybody. When you go into a room, you wouldn't be able to see from one end of the room to the other. When people were visiting, it would be wall to wall smoke, like the thickest pea super fog you've ever seen in your life. And that was normal. So that's how I was brought up. Oh my God, what's this car here? Right. But even when I was quite young, we knew it was bad for us, but it was also normal. You know, to get into the gang at school, I remember you had to smoke a cigarette, you had to inhale it, blow it out to your nose. That was a thing. That was a requirement. Non-smokers couldn't get in, you know. Funny to think about it now. What's that car? Let's get in here. There we go. Passing place. Nice and handy. That's where we've just been, by the way. Up at those houses there. I stopped up at those two at the top and took in the view. So it was normal. And I smoked for 20 years. And I worked it out in the stops. It was a packet a day. Hopefully my maths is right, because the way I remember it was, I smoked 160,000 cigarettes. And in the money of the time, it cost me 33 grand. I'll let this car pass. A few more cars on this bit of road because it's tarmac, of course. Going past more houses. In this field on the right is like a zebra horse. It's like a stripy horse. Cross between I'm guessing a cross between a horse and a zebra. I can't see it. I can see some horses over there. I don't know if one of them is a zebra one or not. Anyway, maybe in our time, if I come back, if the zebra horse is there, I'll show you. But there is one in there. I've seen it a few times. And so I smoked for 20 years, 160,000 cigarettes. I worked it out, and in the money of the day, if all of them had been real cigarettes, I'm going back to my mid-30s. Remember, I'm in my late 50s now, so the money was a lot more, you know, it would mean more. I've had more than 2 decades of inflation since then. £33,000 I spent in fags. I worked out, and that was 160,000 cigarettes, which I have smoked. I can't undo that. And I didn't want to smoke them. That's the funny thing. I didn't plan to talk about smoking when I'm running. Isn't it funny how you just start talking about something? But I could talk about this for a while, but it's actually my daughter Ayla came home from Brodick Primary School. This was the thing that convinced me in the end. She says, you know, I'm told you might not live very long, Dad, and I need you to look after me. And I thought, well, yeah, if I haven't stopped for myself, I need to stop for my daughter, you know. So, in effect, I cared far more about her than I did about myself. And that gave me the incentive to do it, you know, properly. And I'd tried before and failed. So, more determined this time. I cut right down till I was only having 5 a day. That was the magic number. I couldn't get below 5 because you'd have one at the first thing, one last thing, and one after every meal. And that was the bare minimum, you know. You'd be gasping in between, but you could do it because I knew an alarm was coming. And once you get to 5, you couldn't go to 4 or 3, you had to stop. So I was at 5, I got down to 5, that's fine, that was the plan. By the way, I'm on the outside of the corner here, not the inside, because although I'm meant to be facing the traffic on the inside, I'll let this car pass. It's too tight. They come barreling round the corner and they're on you before they see you. And that shouldn't happen, of course. A car shouldn't be driving at a speed that they can stop before whatever's in the road in front of them. That's not what happens in that corner. They'll do 40 and it's assumed there's nobody standing blocking their path, so I kind of need to make sure that I'm not. Wee bridge here. Oh. Quite a long way down there. Right, so I'll cross now, so I'm on the right side of the road, facing the traffic. But that's why I was on the wrong side back there. Look at this. There's no way he'd stop. That's a crazy speed, but anyway, that's what you've got to watch out for running on the roads. And of course, that's why it's dangerous running on the roads. You know, it is dangerous. So I spend as little time on the roads as I can, because like where I've been is a lot more pleasant than where I am. It's just the cars, you know, so many, more and more all the time. Geez, I don't know how many there'll be when we ever get a new ferry. I kind of dread it myself. Double the number of cars, you know. Jeez, that lake, I'd rather it was half, but that's me. There we go. Oh, that's a wee uphill. I'm kind of gasping for air again here, so I'll just kind of get round the corner. Oh, there. I'm not ignoring you. Just trying to catch my breath here. I am old and a duffer. Have mercy. Right, so round this corner starts to go downhill, and then I'll get my breath easily. I still don't know where I'm going. There's the thing. I'm just running. Another car. Well, this one will time nicely because I'll get to that passing place just as it goes past. I won't even need to waving away there. I won't even need to stop or slow down. That was a good one. Yeah, so right, I'm back in the room talking about cigarettes, and so mid-30s, about 36 maybe, better stop. Got down to 5 a day. How am I going to do it this time? How am I going to stop? I got a self-hypnosis CD and went to my bedroom, said go to a quiet place, so bedroom for me, and put it on. I only put it on once, and I can't say I believed in it, but I do believe in giving everything a shot. Like, you can't say something doesn't work or that you don't like something until you tried it. Nobody can comment on something for sure and know they're right if there's no personal experience of it. A bit like me, like I don't fancy going on a cruise boat, right? And COVID definitely didn't help because it seems like that's a bad place to be if you want to avoid COVID. But I can't say for sure that I'd hate it. Maybe I'd like it because I've never been. Costs not a lot of money. I'm usually too busy. I raise kids and busy life and stuff. I've even got my own wee business, so I've been busy really all my life. Worked full time the whole time, apart from just a few months when I first came to Arran in 1984. the island was a different place then. So you can't really say that something's not for you. We'll go left or right. I think I'll go right. You can't really say something's not for you unless you've actually tried it. So, right, there's the road to Kingscross. There's the track I'm going down. There's the road I've just been on. I'm going to go back this way, take me back down to Sandbraes. Nice wee track, and along the village. That'll do me. Not that flanted, like I said. But that's a decent wee run. That's, you know, a good few miles. I'll be fine. So you can't write something off if you tried it, and so I didn't write it off. I gave it the best chance I could. Hypnosis, and I really relaxed and concentrated on it and stuff like it said. Anyway, I'm lying there and it says you might be so relaxed that you can't move. Don't worry about this. If there's a fire or something, you will be able to move. It's just that you're going to be so relaxed you feel like you can't possibly move, but you would be able to if you had to. Right, so listen to the CD, get halfway through, and then I've got an itchy nose. Right, so I want to scratch my nose, easy, very relaxed, try to lift my arm, scratch my nose, can't do it. So, looks like, I remember because I really wanted to lift my arm up, and I couldn't do it at all, I just couldn't. I was stuck, it wasn't a choice, it was total relaxation, or else I'd been hypnotised, whatever it was, something had happened. I've never had that before. I was paralysed like on the bed, even though I was relaxed. I was calm about it because it told me to be, but I knew I couldn't move, and so that was strange. Right, it said, you are going to stop. You're still going to crave the cigarettes just as much as you ever would have. So at least it was truthful. You're not going to say you're not going to miss them, but you're not going to have one, and you know you're not going to have one, and there's the difference. You know for a fact another one will not pass your lips. I said, okay, I will never have another cigarette. So, stopped, went through work in the co-op and everything. People will go for cigarette breaks. Ordinarily, I would no way go on a cigarette break with them if I was stopping, because I would have like mugged them, pinned them to the floor and nicked their fags, even if they wouldn't have given me one. I'd have begged them, and then I'd have just cajoled them, and then I'd have forced them. I'd done anything. It's like this addiction, you can't imagine how powerful it is unless you've had it. Incredible. And so I can't be near any smokers ever if I've stopped, right? Not this time. This time I knew for a fact I was never going to have a cigarette, even though I was desperate for one. I knew it for a fact, and I did know it for a fact. So I had my cigarette breaks with smokers from the very beginning, just because I knew I was completely cured, even though I was desperate, just as desperate as ever. Weird. I did have the breaks with them. Oh, I'll stop here. Sandbraes Church and the rooftops of White Bay. Caravan park's just down in front of the church. Sandbraes Caravan Park used to be called Burnside. And so I knew for a fact I wouldn't have one, and I didn't. And I've been stopped ever since. I used the money that I saved, because you're meant to reward yourself. Right, what reward am I going to have? I got myself a membership at Auchrannie Leisure, and there was a swimming pools, and they're magic, you know. I mean, the facilities are wonderful. They're a wonderful addition to give folk the choice, especially an elderly population, to go to the swimming pools and the gym if they want. So full-size games hall, these kind of things, amazing. I've never had these things, you know, on this side down. And 2 pools in one hotel, incredible. And I went swimming for ages, and then one time the pool was shut, so I tried the gym and I went on a treadmill, and I just loved it. And I had thought, to get back to what we're saying, the treadmill running wasn't for me, right? I was swimming, I just enjoyed swimming, that was it, right? And because I hadn't tried it, I kind of decided it wasn't for me, you know. And of course I was wrong. Because here I am running 20 something years later, and I'm not intending to stop it. So that's pretty conclusive evidence that it wasn't an unpleasant experience. So have a look here. There's normally horses in this field, but they must be in the stables today, or maybe they're out riding. Of course it's sunny Sunday, so I guess the horses will be out. There we go, that's the view. There we go. Church is just coming up on the right. There we go. Right, there we go. I'll cut across. I kind of go quiet when I pass people. And I suppose it feels kind of strange talking to myself. I don't own a mobile phone, so I see people like walking about with phones talking to themselves, and I've never done it. I've never, so to speak, had a mobile. I've been given a couple, but I've never used them, so I've never had one. And so it seems strange to me to be talking, you know, while I'm jogging about the place. I'm going to have to just ignore them, I guess. And I'll get used to it. Used to being a nutcase. But anyway, so that's the thing. So the second hardest thing ever in my life, stopping smoking, which I did do. And I actually didn't think I'd ever manage, to be honest. So that was the hardest. And even to this day, if I go out for a drink, I crave a cigarette. I don't think about them the rest of the time. Some connection to alcohol. Go waving away. Nice, isn't it? And I'll be ducked. And so I still can't go and drink. Alright, there's the... I'm just going to show you this. This is Arran Brewery's limo. And the real Ams thing actually was driving us about. And he's just finished working for Arran Brewery. An actual limousine. There you go. There we go. So last time I saw it, Rulo was driving it. Right, so that was the hardest thing, but that was usurped by my attempt at going round the island, at my successful attempt. That is the hardest thing I've ever done. Anyway, back up the pavement here, going quiet again. Right, there we go. So, going back to the very, very first point I was making, before Ronnie Corbett and everything else, there's good and bad that comes out of everything. And the COVID, the good was running around the island, you know, empty roads. And the difficult thing was a lack of races. And to back to the very first sentence, I said, I don't usually wear a watch. In fact, I've duffed it anyway with this one, so I might give up. Because so why am I waving away there? Why am I panning myself at races, at training, you know, flat out, and I'm not doing any races? Because it's really painful, you know. You're inflicting the maximum pain that you can. Alright. Right, so here I am on the wrong side of the road again, and there's actually a pavement here, I should be on it, but the surface isn't as good as the road. So I'll stop again for a second here, so that. So it's nicer to run on the road, because There's a speedboat way over behind those kayaks flying around halfway to the mainland. There we go. This surface isn't as nice. So if you ever see somebody running on the road and you wonder why, sometimes there's more to it than you know. Like for me here, I could go over my ankle on that pavement. It's rough. Probably won't go over my ankle, but you know, it's a difficult surface, whereas the road, it was relatively recently resurfaced and it's a nice surface. Also, the road generally has a better surface, like a softer surface than the pavement. It's actually known to be less hard on your knees running on the road, although it's still hard, than the pavement. The pavement's more like concrete. It's not made for comfort, you know. So it's not got the same kind of give in it. But both those surfaces, of course, aren't good for your knees. You're better to go on trails, and especially on grass. That's the best thing to do. Completely different. You know, it's like being on a cushion compared to this, running on grass. There's a car coming, so back in the pavement again. There we go. Yeah, so I realised I wasn't doing any races. Why not give myself a break? I've run round the island and I'll cut it down to just half an hour of training a day. I'll do half an hour every day. I get that on my lunch break at Calmac. And much to my surprise, even though I was only training half an hour a day, that's 3.5 hours a week, I kept the intensity quite high. I was still churning out 90-minute 5Ks all last year, age 56. And that's not bad, by the way. I didn't expect to be as fast as that. So I just kept doing them. But eventually I thought, why am I doing that? You know, I'm facing the car now, so I hope it gives me space. Let's see if it does. Yes, it is good. So I'm now just taking it easy. I'm just acting as I'm meant to be, which is old and duffy, as discussed earlier. Almost back where I was now, coming back to the centre. Right, there we go. Just a few yards to go. Just get the car park. So I just take it easy now. And sometimes I cycle. The odd day I don't even do anything. And then honestly I don't know how fast I am now. Well, that's okay, because I know I'm still pretty fit. And that's fine. Right, there we go. I'll leave you with that shot. Till next time, adios.